You good?
You ready?
People want to know about Rucker.
How many of your viewers are under the age of 18?
Okay.
Is what I need to know.
This is how it starts.
Oh, wow.
Family show, Rucker.
Yeah.
It's
Ladies and
it's a
gentlemen.
family show.
A man's Saul years before he enters into the Paul years of his life can be very graphic. Okay?
Hey,
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hey.
That'll preach, big
You know what
dog.
I'm
Hey.
saying?
if you're wondering this voice you hear, if
he understands. Okay, it's a family show, so hey, he's gonna keep it on a decent level.
Yeah,
I'm not.
PG-13.
But he's gonna tell the truth too, though.
Amen. And I'm quasi-professional.
he's quasi-professional.
There it is.
He didn't get rid of the word quasi.
There you
So
go.
if you've ever seen Duck Dynasty, there was a guy that showed up for one episode to run a snow cone stand.
There was a couple. I was an extra in a couple.
And
also.
yeah,
There's
and,
a-
you know, you see him in the background every day. He was kind of like me. We had our moment in the sun.
Very true.
Very true.
For me, it was literally in the sun.
Hold on. Now Rucker here. Hold on.
Yeah, put the weapons away. But Brian Rucker,
May have some PTSD. but-
one of the great stories of Duck Commander, Duck Dynasty behind the scenes is in the house today.
Yeah. You've probably seen Rucker by now. If you didn't see the Duck Dynasty episode and you follow us, sorry about that. It was a really good one. But Rucker has recently been featured on an I Am Second. And if you follow us, you probably keep up with those guys too, because we had a decent sized series on the I Am Second platform as well. So Rucker, wow, I really just kind of want to turn my mic off and let you go because you've got one heck of a story. But before we get into that, I would like to preface, like, we're about to make fun of Rucker,
So much.
and Rucker's going to make fun of us. But just know, we all love each other, folks. This is locker room at its finest, right here. So, first thing
Insults
is
are our love language.
exactly. And as general manager of this company, I just have one question, Rucker. Why did you give the people you brought in here a pen?
I'm gonna tell you why. All right. And look, and because of that, and because of what was done here and what you see here, people have a lifelong connection with Duck Commander.
So Rucker,
Okay.
we were trying to figure out what to do with this guy because well, we need to get into your story of how you ended up with a job here because that's outrageous too. But it was like, he can talk to people. What if we just let him show people the actual duck call room and have him walk back there and Rucker will make up story. He lied to you if you ever went on that little tour and he just makes up stories. Well, then one day he comes in my office.
They were quasi true.
Yeah, they were true. They were 95%.
They were embellished a little.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
he comes in
Hey,
my
a
office.
good storyteller always embellishes.
I learned from the best.
There you
That's
go.
the best
There you
storyteller
go.
in the house, right there.
He comes in my office. He says, "Dude, I had a great idea." I said, "What was it?" He goes, "I got some pens, and everybody's been signing all over all the desks in the duck call room." I said, yeah, we film on those like every day. So now there's just random people like Jordan was here and phone numbers all over them. If you've ever wondered what the names are, Rucker had one wild day.
Yeah.
Hey, that
This is
means
what
this room. That means this room, and I'll say it again. Hey, it's we the people, boy. The people are speaking.
In my defense, this Buck Commander logo was drawn on there long before I showed up.
Yeah, that was a direct trace. That was when we were bored.
You're just
during filming.
responsible for all the graffiti.
Yeah, and like where
It's
Godwin.
not like it. I mean, this isn't the first time that's been the case.
Yeah, I mean, look at his arm, for crying out loud. Like, I mean, Rucker likes to draw on things, but no, it. I used to tell everybody it's so funny because Rucker, before he would give the tour, before the tour was built here, we had a tour where people left with what, like a duck call? No, we didn't even give a duck call. Then it was a Si cup and like a keychain and a bendy pen or something.
Well, they got the option to just grab something out that bin whenever they completed the tour. And it's actually funny how that came about because, you know, I was over at Buck Commander. I had worked my way over to, you know, working with those guys, and then I may have gotten arrested.
Oh, yeah, you got let go.
I got let go from Buck Commander, and thankfully Willie and then at the time Kyle was like, "Hey, we'll give you one more chance, but you're going to run these tours."
Yeah.
And yeah,
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
But he stood outside my office every day at the time giving these tours. So by the time it's over with, I had Rucker's full spiel. Remember, like he stood, there's like 4 windows in this building, period. 4.
Yeah.
And they go to nowhere. They go to the warehouse. Like, oh, I'd love to look at the warehouse. But he stood right outside one of those windows, which happened to be like he would sit on the table outside my office and give the spiel before we ever got
all
here.
the stories.
And I had his whole deal memorized. It was so funny. Like I would be sitting in there mouthing it as Rucker's doing it. Like I had the whole. But he was great, and
the best part,
the people loved him, which I get.
It took a second though.
He's a very likable
because
cat.
he'd walk in that store and go, "All right, listen up." We're about to do, and people would like grab their kids because there's this 5'2" tattooed man who's from the streets of Houston. It's like Tommy Boy. It's like, listen up, and what's this guy doing? We could go see the duck call room and be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, then they all file in a line. Then when they would leave, I would hear them talking like, man, that was so good.
That guy.
I mean, it was literally Rucker did it like 10 times a day. So it was like every 30 minutes.
It would be pretty regularly.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was wild.
It was wild.
It was pretty busy back then. You know, just people coming by. Everything was still pretty much at the height, and so, one thing that I was really intentional about though is we'd go through the spiel in the hallway there. But whenever we get in this duck call room, honestly, a lot of this writing on the table was just to give a little bit of buffer time for them to ask a question, and then I could give them the gospel. Every time they came in here, they got a little bit of my testimony and the gospel, the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus.
It's so funny. On Rucker's off day, our man Big Royce ran them. It was a markedly different tour between Rucker and Royce. Like the 2 R's was a completely different experience. Like, Royce was the kind old man at the hardware store, and then you've already heard Rucker.
Walmart special.
Royce hadn't spent a lot of time on the streets of Houston.
No, but he does live in Texas now. Royce went back to Texas.
Yeah, he's back in Texas, but also
different neighborhoods.
Here's the thing about Royce too, is he was secretly funny, but just like any other old man, he gets agitated. Everybody gonna know about it. So all it'd take is one question he's heard one too many times, and he was like, hey, I'm out.
So Rucker, I think we got to go back though, because you are not the typical Duck Commander employee.
No, I'm not, and I take pride in that.
But I do too. Although when I first saw you, I said I'm gonna have to fire whoever hired this guy.
Yeah.
But how did you end up here?
All right, so just the quick synopsis. I'm from Houston, Texas. Been on my own since I was 13. Found my mom dead at 13. Been in gangs, sold drugs my whole life. By the time I was 16, I'd been incarcerated 2.5 years. By the time I was 17, I was making over just $60,000 a month selling drugs at a pipeline from Houston to Columbia, South Carolina. 2007, I got indicted and convicted of a gang-related shooting in which a person died. Several years later, get released, start moving all over Texas, thinking that's the answer. End up over in Longview working at a Chicken Express. And I'm telling myself, as long as I don't sell drugs or, participate in any gang activity, then, I could be a dad. I could try to do something different. Well, I get laid off from that job, and I'm like, well, I'm going to just go back to selling drugs because this doing a job thing isn't really working out. And around that same time period, I found out about my grandmother's health. Now, my mom and my grandmother are originally from Monroe and West Monroe. And in the early 80s, they moved to Houston for doing whatever sketchy stuff they were doing. And so I was born in Houston, and all I ever knew was Houston. Well, after the shooting and everything, my mom passed away. My grandmother ultimately decides to move back here to be around family. And I come out here to visit her. She had just got out of the hospital. They were telling me that they were going to put her in a nursing home because insurance wouldn't pay for someone to keep her at night. And I said, well, I'll move out here. And I literally went back to East Texas, gave my roommate the drugs, gave him the keys to my apartment, loaded up, and moved out here. After I got here, I started taking care of my grandma, and I go everywhere looking for a job. McDonald's, Taco Bell wouldn't hire me. Couldn't get a break nowhere. And I was just driving down Thomas Road one day, and I see this big brown building, And I was like, oh, duck commander. Okay, I'll just go in there and put in an application. And I did. And I guess about a month later is when I actually got the phone call. And at that point, I was just so like out of my mind crazy, right? Like there's different levels of insanity, and I was at the fullest level of it. I mean, I would sit in this bathroom, staring in a mirror, getting drunk and high all night, like trying to make my life make sense, and I never could, And I get this phone call from a guy named Blaze Thomas, and I come in here for the interview, and he's kind of trying to fill me out. He's like, "Hey, how would you like to work here?" Da 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 da. And for whatever reason, I said the words, "Man, I don't really care if it's you or McDonald's. I'm just trying to feed my kid, and I don't want to sell drugs to do it." And it was him and Brad Gilbo in the office. Brad Gilbo was the guy that was kind of taking care of the warehouse with Blaze Thomas.
Oh, Brad. Yeah.
Brad. Yeah. And so he goes, and so Brad kind of like looked up, and then Blaze, Blaze, he ain't know what to think. And so he goes, well, if you got the job, when could you start? And I just kind of like stood up, untucked my shirt, and I said, man, I'll start right now. And then he like kicks me out of his office. He's like, hey, all right, we're going to call you. We'll let you know something. And then I get back to my grandma's house, and I'm like, man, why did I tell him that? It's like when keeping it real goes wrong. And
God, I love you.
And then I'm like, they ain't gonna call me. I'd have told these people I sell drugs. I look like a criminal. You know what I mean?
It was an aggressive approach.
It was an aggressive approach.
Good news for you is this company loves a project.
Yeah, yes. That's why there's so many going at all times.
I know. I mean, this company loves a project. That's just basically off of our founder, Phil Robertson. He is always surrounded by a project.
Question.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Are you and your grandmother real close?
She's passed away now.
I know, but was you?
Oh yeah. Okay. My grandma was always the person that was there.
Okay.
Because I never knew my dad. I didn't, I could run into him on the street right now and I wouldn't know who he is. But my mom, after she passed away, it was just me and my grandma. And through all the trouble I got into, everything, like she was there. But, and we'll probably tell this story a little bit later, but me and my grandma, like we did a lot of stuff together.
Yeah. Let's take our first break and let's come back to some of that. We'll be back right after this.
You know what the most important part of hunting season is, Martin?
What?
A good night's sleep.
Hey, that's why we got Helix.
That's why you got them Helix mattresses, custom tailor fitted to you. Rucker, now that you're a married man, do you need a new mattress?
Probably.
Here's the deal, Rucker. You can go take a test, and Helix will tailor make a mattress just for you.
Really?
Yeah.
And you can't fail the test unless you're dishonest and like, no, I don't sleep like that. Just tell them how you sleep.
Tell them how you sleep, and they will make what kind, you like, a soft or firm mattress?
Somewhere right in the middle.
Somewhere right in the middle. They got that.
Somewhere right in the middle.
Back sleeper or front sleeper?
It just depends. It depends on how my sinuses are working.
Okay.
Depends on the mood, boys.
Hey, but look, and you don't have to worry about this, but they make mattresses for big and tall sleepers. So
what about short and stubby?
Uh-oh.
I'm sure we can make it work.
They made one.
But it is cool because they will take into account, like if you are married, you can choose that you've got two sleepers in the bed, and then they'll tailor make one just for the both of you. So, and your personalized mattress shipped straight to your door, so you don't have to go to a furniture store. You're not laying on a weird bed that other people have laid on. Like, oh, is this one comfortable? You don't have to worry about that because Helix takes care of all of it. Helix knows there's no better way to test out a new mattress than by sleeping in it in your own home. That's why they have a 100-night trial. Everybody's unique. Everybody sleeps different. That's why Helix has several different mattress models to choose from, each designed for specific sleep positions and feel preferences. Look, they got models with memory foam layers, models more responsive foam to cradle your body, enhanced cooling features. So if you're like me and you sleep hot, that's a
big one.
That's a big one. And if your spine needs some extra TLC, they got you. Every Helix mattress has a hybrid design, combining wrap steel coils in the base and foam layers at the top to give the perfect combination of comfort and support. Johnny D, you still rocking
Moonlight, baby. Soft, fluffy cloud for the back sleeper who's a little big. That's me, baby. That's how I take that test. and I ace it, and I sleep good.
Look, we all got them. They're the best mattress we've ever slept on. Set up fast and easy. Helix mattress delivered in a box straight to your door for free. But it is nice to not have to go anywhere. It's right to your door. Comes with a 10 or 15-year warranty, depending on the model. Helix is offering 25% off all mattress orders and a free bedroom bundle for our listeners in honor of Black Friday. The bundle includes 2 free pillows as well as a set of sheets and even a mattress protector. Go to helixsleep.com/duck and use code HelixPartner25. That's helixsleep.com/duck for 25% off all mattress orders and a free bedroom bundle when you use the code HelixPartner25. This is their best offer yet, and it won't last long. With Helix, better sleep starts now.
That's it. Hey, the thing about that is most people can't handle the truth, and you was truthful.
Yeah, I've always look.
You was who you are, so you told them.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And you know that's what I think really made a lot of the people, whether it be Martin, John David, you know, just different people that work. I think that's why everybody really kind of took a liking to me, was because they'd ask me where I come from, and I'd just tell them, and they're like, "Who the heck is this guy?"
It was neat.
Oh, I tell you.
I hadn't met anybody quite like you, Rucker.
So, like, when Rucker started here, the show was killing. I mean, it was our whole lives, like
At the
mine
peak.
and size. Yeah. And, like, I don't even remember Brad. I've been here 14
No,
years.
I was
and
gonna say, I don't know either one of them.
Now,
Yeah.
Blaze, I remember, but
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you Brad if he walked in here. So, like, he was working for us, and I had no idea he was. But I remember showing up one day, and I'm like, I see Rucker. He obviously doesn't fit the mold. And I'm like,
I stuck out like a sore thumb.
I said, well,
I'll
let
tell
me
you
go
that.
talk to this cat. And I walked up to him, started talking, and I was like, man, I think I really like him. Because what you get with Rucker, even in a 5-minute conversation, is no BS.
That's wild.
And I can appreciate that. He's not trying to put on a front for anybody. He's just who he is. And he said, you know what I'm saying? Like 12 times.
You know what I'm
that
saying?
used to be his favorite term. I don't
Yeah.
know if you still use it a lot. But,
Well,
know.
when I get real fired up, it comes out a lot.
You know
But
what I'm
I've polished things a little bit these days.
yeah, I will say that's the best I've ever seen your beard look, period.
Well,
hands
no.
down.
Well, I actually
Yeah.
go get it trimmed every Friday now. It's kind of a thing.
Look,
Hey,
my man getting paid now.
Now,
Look
now
at
I
it.
know why you're
The right
sitting
way.
there saying I love this man.
I do love him.
Okay, because I hadn't known you that much.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
we've known each other for
Yeah.
a long, but
Well, yeah.
I even say I watched an episode of this podcast where you were talking about a sermon that I gave one Sunday morning.
yeah.
And you literally said the words, well, it's funny because he's so shy and quiet.
Have we all
Well,
started
no.
dying
and
now?
I was like,
You don't
Huh?
really, you don't know me yet.
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Well,
No, but hey, when he said that, I went back to my military career.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because when an officer would ask me a question, well, I'd give him who I am.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He couldn't handle it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You just read your credentials, man. Like, this is who I am. And here's
Yeah.
the thing, right? I don't think God designed any of us to be like somebody else.
No.
God designed us to be us. That's why
Unique.
we're uniquely
Well,
made.
Well, buddy, I can assure you he broke the mold of you.
Yeah. That's what
Amen.
I tell my wife.
Yeah.
He's married now.
Hey,
the
no,
story
and
gets
look.
wild, people.
Hey, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I just keep going back to all the little deals. Like Rucker left, and we'll go through all that. But I remember he showed back up one day, and his tagline was "Rucker Homeowner 2020." He's like, I think I can see a path to buying a house, and I was like, man, to know where this guy came from. I mean, that's a big deal when like Rucker's like
Well,
homeowner.
and man, it's crazy because I actually forgot about a lot of that. But man, that's just how raw and ground zero I was. And so it was really cool because y'all seen me like from when I gave my life to Jesus and started walking this out. Y'all walked it out with me. And for those first 3-4 years of my walk, like it was all spent here. So, and nowadays, you know, doing the things that I do, dealing with the people, like a lot of them don't see ground zero Brian Rucker. You know what I mean? So it's always cool. It's just, you know, because I forgot about that. And I remember now that you say it, like Rucker Homeowner 2020, because that was like, man,
That was huge.
that was huge. Like, I was just like, man, maybe one day I'll own a house.
Because when
Yeah.
you moved here,
Yeah.
you were living in an apartment with your grandma.
Yep.
You were broke. You were sending child support back to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And me and you had to sit down because I was like, you were talking about stuff and you didn't make much money. You were a very entry-level employee. And you had some bills outstanding with the state of Texas. And we were trying to figure out how to get them paid. So I said, Rucker, let's sit down, let's go through your budget, and let's look at it. And the math just wasn't mathing.
Yeah, that's the way it is with me.
Well,
math.
This is a little bit different of a situation. You know what I mean?
Rucker had something. Rucker had something in every pocket.
Oh man, look. So I remember we were going over my budget. We were trying to figure out how to pay off. I had 13 warrants in 9 different counties in the state of Texas because I always figured, like, man, I'm gonna be in prison the rest of my life anyway.
So you just never paid them.
I'd get a ticket and I'd throw it out the window, like, catch me later, holler. You know what I'm saying?
So
like,
you
Been there. That's why I stay out of Tennessee.
My favorite part.
Tennessee officials are about to hit on Sal's line, boys.
They probably gonna come get me.
Hey, state of
Now that I
Tennessee.
confess.
Hey, state of Tennessee. He got it.
He can afford it.
Yeah.
Rucker couldn't.
Yeah.
I've repented.
There's
Also, I bet you the
Tennessee,
statute
I
of
repented.
limitations have run up on anything that, you
but
know.
there's one major difference. He got it.
Yeah.
Rucker got it now.
Yeah.
Well, so at the time, right, like, so we're sitting down, we're going over my budget, and we're just trying to figure all this out. And it was a collective effort.
Yeah.
I mean, like, everybody was involved with my life. And, man, that was so important. And we could talk about that later. But we're looking at it, and you're like, okay, well, if you quit smoking cigarettes, then maybe you can pay, but it's still not. How are you paying your car note? And I said, oh, well, that's easy. Me and my grandma sell our pills together. And you're like, and you said, you can't do that. And I was like,
Come on, what are you talking about? I'm paying my car note.
well, that's exactly. I was sitting there. I was like, well, but then how am I going to pay the car note?
Yeah,
And you're
right.
like, man, you can't, like, because I had just got baptized. You know what I mean?
You were
And
fresh.
I was fresh, and
He says selling drugs don't make me bad. That's the user that's the problem.
well, that's what literally.
I got a quote later.
Well, yeah. So you're like Rucker. You cannot sell pills and walk out in life with Jesus. And I'm like, okay, well, what's your plan? You got a plan? Because I don't know what to do.
It was a rough one.
But it turned out to be another blessing in my life. Because what happened was Willie said, I'll give you $100. I had $2,000 left to pay on my vehicle. And Willie said, I'll give you $100 every day you go without smoking a cigarette for 10 days or 20 days. And I was like, $100 a day. I got that. You know what I mean? I'll quit smoking.
That's it.
And it helped me quit smoking. It got paid off my vehicle, so I didn't have to sell pills with my grandma. And then this is a story I tell people a lot, is whenever you came to give me the check, we sat down and you said to me, I don't know if you realize why we're doing this for you. And I said, not really. And you said, man, I just think that if you have a chance and walk out things with Jesus, you could change the world one day. He said, I think you have that ability to really do some stuff like Phil's done or my uncle's done. And
Don't get me emotional.
well, I mean, and so when you told me that, it's crazy because I was just like, really? Like, man, what the heck's this dude talking about? You know what I mean? Like, because I didn't realize I'd be doing anything I'm doing right now.
because you don't see yourself that way.
So I lied, by the way. I didn't think that at all. No, I'm just kidding. No, you do have something in you that people gravitate towards of all walks of life.
Yeah.
He gets the people from the nicest neighborhood in town, and they just love him.
Well, he's like-
and he can go to the. I went to pick Rucker. That we might get there. We might need 2 episodes for this. I went to pick Rucker up one night. I ain't never been in a neighborhood like that before or since. And I was just like, but all those people there love him. So like everybody saw in you something that was, it's just a magnet of like, what is this dude's weird personality and why do I like him?
Yeah.
And you use that to preach the gospel now. And, we're all super proud of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take another break. We'll be back right after this.
These wear me out. these podcasts.
Yeah, well, that's why it's a good thing that you got the hoist there to pep you right back up.
I love blue raspberry things.
You know, the coolest thing about it is I found this stuff, the hoist back during the summer when it was like the hottest it's ever been around
It
here.
was hot.
And I'm so glad I did because now I still drink it. Like, you need a booster in the middle of the day, get your hydration back up. We're all at work. Drinking water is not really high on your priority list a lot of times. You need to get hydrated and stay hydrated. Hoist can help you do that because it performs like IV in a bottle, and it's clinically proven to keep you hydrated longer than water. So, like duck season coming up, hunting season coming up, look, nice bottle. Mm-hmm. Throw it in your pack.
And the good news is you'll be hydrated.
That you'll be hydrated. You ain't got to worry about it. That's what I'm
And they're
talking about.
delicious. But, Martin, there's a new flavor. Black cherry.
Oh.
I've never tried it until this exact moment.
Hey, you got it before me. Gummit, how is it?
Hey, mine is dragon fruit.
Well, I can't.
That black cherry is phenomenal.
I can't speak to black
Rucker,
cherry.
I got the. Hold on.
Tell us about it, Rucker.
Well, you sound like Godwin.
Oh,
now.
boy. How was it?
You got to make it sound good, boy.
It's actually extremely delicious.
Yeah.
That's
See,
right.
I've tried them all.
Extremely
I haven't
delicious.
tried the black cherry, but
It's
watermelon's my favorite for sure. But look, if you're drinking traditional sports drink, stop now. Make the switch. Hoist formula closely matches your bloodstream for immediate hydration, and it contains half the sugar and 3 times more electrolytes than traditional sports drinks without any artificial dyes or preservatives. So when you see it, you're like, man, it's clear. It kind of throws you off, but it doesn't have that stuff in it. Hoist recently launched a brand new flavor, like Johnny D's talking about. It's on their website only, black cherry.
It's real good.
So there are now 7 delicious flavors to choose from: dragon fruit, orange, watermelon, peach mango, strawberry lemonade, blue raspberry, and the all-new black cherry. So there's something for everybody. You can find the new black cherry flavor online now or in stores in 2024. Hoist proudly hydrates our U.S. military and is one of only 3 electrolytes approved by the Department of Defense, and they're made in the USA. If it's good enough for them, it's definitely good enough for y'all. I'm just telling you right now, the flavors are incredible. Try them all. My favorite's watermelon. Johnny D's now throwing his hat in the ring for black cherry.
Black cherry and blue raspberry, a close toss-up. Try them right now. Do it.
The black cherry, boy.
We want a live reaction. This isn't fake. This is real.
No, that's good.
I'm telling you.
Hold on.
Here
now.
you have it, everybody.
Good, boy.
I'm going to have to drink him and watermelon side by side to see which one I like better. But look, Hoist is now available here in Louisiana and Rouse's. To find a store near you, just use the store locator on their website, or you can save 20% by using the code DUCK when you purchase from drinkhoist.com. Visit drinkhoist.com and use code DUCK today to save 20%.
When did they call you and how did that go?
Uh,
Okay, because you done shocked everybody by,
when did Duck Commander call me?
yeah.
So they called me about after I came in and did the interview. It was about 3 days later.
Okay.
And funny story is I actually missed their phone call 5 times. Now, normally they would, you call somebody once or twice or whatever.
We didn't have a great system back then,
Yeah.
hiring.
Well, I think
And we needed anybody.
I talk to Blaze sometimes, and I really think for some reason God just put it on his heart to hire me.
Yeah.
Like, because he kept calling me. He called me like 5 times, and this was at a time period where I had so much PTSD. I didn't sleep at night. I was getting high and drunk, just couldn't. And like I would finally crash out at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Well, it took them 3 days to get over the shock of your interview.
No, that's probably
I'm
right.
serious.
I always figured maybe he just had to clear it by somebody, but I know now that was not the case.
Nope. That wouldn't have happened, probably.
God said,
Sadly
hey,
to say.
Yeah.
God said, hey, let's let this rest a little while.
Yeah, let's let this simmer.
Yeah, let it simmer.
Let's let
Well,
this simmer.
and I'd almost be interested to find out like what was going on with Blaze during that time period. Because I imagine if I'm just throwing a dart at a dartboard here, but I imagine God was doing something in Blaze during that period.
No.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so anyway, so they call me. I missed their phone call 5 times just because I'm up all night, finally crash out. Well, then,
When you sleep, you're asleep.
and I didn't even have a phone.
Well, and he was sleeping during normal business hours.
Right. Right. So I didn't have a phone. I was literally using my grandmother's cell phone. So I got up, seen that I missed all these calls, tried to call her back, didn't get no answer. Well, then my grandma needed something from the corner store. And so I couldn't leave her there at the apartment by herself without a phone. So I gave her the phone with specific instructions. I said, hey, if they call back, just answer. Tell them I'm here. Just come up with something, right? And I go to the store and I come back and she missed another phone call, and so I was like, good night. I was like, man, I was like, it's pointless. And then for whatever reason, Blaze called me at like 4:30 that afternoon, right before he left. He said, hey, I've been trying to get in contact with you all day. And I said, yeah, man, I've been out putting in job interview. That ain't true. I didn't say it. I was just trying to act like I'm actually doing something productive. And so, and he's like, well, if you want the job, you can start Monday. And I started that next Monday here in the warehouse, folding clothes and moving boxes for $8 an hour.
There you go.
No, but man, all throughout my life, I've pretty much like, I don't, even that's why, before I was 17 years old, I was making, good money selling drugs. And I've always just had I'll have a small little idea. This is what I'm going to do. And then it just kind of blossoms into something that's out of my control. But whenever I got here and I surrendered to Jesus and I had people disciple me into how to live a lifestyle as a Christian and as a Christian man, then it was like, it's not about like doing stuff that blossoms into being something out of my control. Just start off with knowing that he is in control and let him have everything, and don't try to be in control and watch what happens.
Yeah. Well, for the first time in your life, you run up among a bunch of boys that were going to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
To
sure.
what you said you were going to do.
Yeah.
Instead of, you being you. And look, you are a very good wordsmith. So
got away with words.
He
makes up some of them.
He does the parabola. I still can't say plethora because of you.
Parabola.
We got a whole parabola of bobbleheads back there.
I mean, every time I want to say the word plethora, I can't.
I say parabola.
You're welcome. I appreciate. I leave you with something.
But but Rucker, you gave your life to Jesus because you were just hanging out here. You started going to church, and I've heard you in testimony say, might get a raise if I start going to church, which is the funniest line ever. But you started going to church. Sinky got a hold of you, baptized you, and then everything was good and great and fine and wonderful after that, right?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No. So yeah, I start, and I tell people this too, because a lot of the stuff I've been doing lately is ministers, people that are, evangelical and things like that. And so like a lot of times they're like, well, how did you come to obey the gospel? I said, I'm gonna just be honest with you. Didn't nobody open up a Bible? Didn't nobody point to any verses? Didn't nobody tell me that I was doomed and going to hell because of my sinful living? What they did is tell me the words, we love you. And that just did something. And it wasn't just like, they said, hey, yeah, we love you, and then kept moving. Like they said, we love you, and then they would give me responsibility. They believed in me in certain aspects. And so, I start going to church. I get baptized, and, it's like from 0 to 100 real quick. It was like one minute I'm in here, and I'm just kind of working in the warehouse, in the store, and everything. And then I get baptized. I tell my testimony at the Thursday morning devotional that we used to have here.
Yep.
And that's whenever I got linked up with Grant Taylor. And then he kind of takes me under his wing. I start doing stuff with Buck Commander, going on these hunts, different things like that, still doing stuff around here. And, it was almost too much too quick, because that next thing I know, I had like Rochi flying me to Kansas to share my story, but I wasn't fully living it yet. And then in comes the story of, I'm not supposed to sell drugs with my grandma. You know what I mean? Because I was just such a adolescent Christian that I didn't realize. I thought, okay, well, I'm not selling drugs. I'm not shooting at nobody. And, I'm trying to do the right thing. So grace abounds. God knows my heart. It's all good. Well, as it would turn out, there's not really any gray area in the Word of God. It's pretty black and white.
With a little red.
Yeah, with some red. And so God humbled me. And I just got back from hunting camp with Buck Commander, hanging out with country music singers, baseball players, everybody, man, this Rucker guy, man, he's pretty cool, da-da-da-da. And I get back, it's 3 days before my episode airs on Duck Dynasty at the Ice Cabin. And I get pulled over coming back from a bar celebrating, and I get a possession charge and a DWI charge, and then I get thrown in OCC. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, how did this happen? I got Jesus, man. What am I doing in jail? And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. It's like either you're for me or against me. You can't go around here proclaiming me and talking about me and then go home and live how you want to live. And that's whenever I had that moment of realization, like, oh, okay, all right, this is for real. Like,
yeah. The craziest part of that story is when you were in jail, you called Grant.
yeah.
I would not have called Grant. Grant's which Grant has, Grant is your mentor.
Yeah.
But me and Grant had a good cop, bad cop thing with Rucker for a long time. Grant would chew him out, and then Rucker would come down to my office, and I'd be like, man, you're going to do great things. We got this. And then Grant would just hit the heavy. And I remember thinking, like, I think Grant called me, and I was like, oh, no, Grant's going to kill him.
Yeah.
But Grant was great. Like,
Yeah.
Very football coach mentality.
Yeah, I was like, I would have been scared to death to call Grant, but you did.
Well, when they came and got me out of jail, that's the other part of the story. I'm thinking, oh, this is all over. It's pointless.
Oh. My goodness. Time out.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Robertson's in the house
with a pie.
With a pie.
Holy cow!
How did this happen?
Oh man, we were filming some Commander Kitchen, and now Kay's delivering pie.
Yeah. You can set it down right
there.
there.
You go, Kay. I got a knife.
He's got a knife.
Oh, right
Set
here.
over in that part.
What kind of pie?
Look, we got a guest over here, Kay.
Yeah.
You always treat your guests first.
You always told me I was your favorite. Yeah.
I did say that.
It's true.
She used to tell me that too.
Well, you grew out of it.
I know.
Like this, do you?
Oh, I love. Say that again.
Sweet potato pie.
Oh,
Potato pie.
if it's made by Miss K and it's a pie, I'm eating it.
Miss
Yeah.
Kay just
That's
walked
it.
up in
That's
here
the
with
bottom
sweet
line.
potato pie like she owns the place. Oh, wait, she does.
That's right. She does. She is on it.
No.
No.
The only thing that's going to get crushed is that pie.
I use my pillow regularly.
Regularly, boys.
You know where I got my pillow?
Where'd you get your My Pillow from?
From Willie.
Christmas.
That's right. Willie gave us all a My Pillow for Christmas. But Rucker, did you know they have more than just pillows?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Now they got,
goodness gracious, Rucker. Do we have news for you?
boy, they got towels.
They got robes.
Stop it.
They got
Stop
slippers.
That's right.
Bed sheets?
Shut your mouth.
Look, if it's an everyday problem, Michael and Dale's just here to fix it.
That's what he does.
That's what it is. He's
In
a problem
comfort
solver.
and for a comfortable price.
And Rucker, have you ever had a towel where you wipe yourself off, but you still wet?
No, that actually happens to me a lot, and it's super annoying.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Look, we don't buy towels because you don't want to dry off. That's dumb. So look, if you picked up a towel set because it felt really soft in the store when you got to use it, it didn't dry. Look, you don't have to worry about that with My Pillow towels. You touch it, it's soft like a cloud. But it actually dries you off. So, because it's a combed, ring-spun cotton that makes towels softer and more absorbent than ever. Towels that actually dry you. These towels will not easily peel or tear even after repeated washing and drying. They come in every color. Look, color of towels actually matters. You're married now, so you're going to have to pay attention to that. But look, right now, you can receive a 6-piece set for only $29.98. My towels also come with a 10-year warranty. Just go to mypillow.com/duck right now and use promo code DUCK. And get the best towels you've ever had. Trust me, they dry you.
we
They're
all
soft.
got them.
They stand up to washing and drying. We all got. They're like I got them by my shower. I got them right there by the sink to dry your face off after you brush your teeth. Look, I know how much you take care of your beard. You drying that thing off all the time. So look, you need a towel. They got you. And to receive this amazing offer of a 6-piece set of My Pillow towels for only $29.98, just go to mypillow.com/duck. Enter promo code
Duck.
Go to mypillow.com/duck.
Duck.
Enter promo code
Duck.
or call 800-969-3137 to get your My Pillow towels today. That's mypillow.com/just
Duck, duck, duck.
It's just one duck.
one duck and use promo code
Duck, duck.
or call 800-969-3137.
Call today.
Well, that was the best break we've ever had because Kay just showed up with a pie. We had to stop and eat it.
Freshly out of the oven.
It was delicious.
Yeah. I know they're better when they're hot.
Hey,
There's no better way to be greeted than Miss K with a sweet potato pie.
Yeah, Rucker,
Oh, hey.
you're officially invited back every episode. If that's never happened before.
look, y'all just applaud the general manager for coming up with this idea, Commander's Kitchen, where Kay comes up here once a month and cooks for us.
Hey,
Y'all take a second.
We'll give you that.
Y'all take a second.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a
give
pretty
you
humble guy, but this was more than just a YouTube content.
That was just to feed you.
Yeah, this was my little baby, my little project, because Kay loves feeding people, and I knew if I could talk her into that, she'd come up here. So it's all good. But I don't even remember where we were.
So DWI.
Oh yeah,
he's called Grant. Grant fires you.
Then they come to pick you up.
Yeah. Grant. Well, so originally he didn't fire me. So originally Grant comes and gets me, talks to Willie and everything, and excuse me, sweet potato pie.
Amen, buddy.
Praise God.
Praise the Lord. Anyway, so him and Willie come and get me, or he comes and gets me and talk to Willie and stuff. I think I got arrested on Saturday night, if I'm not mistaken. It may have been a Sunday night. By that next morning, everybody knew.
Yeah.
And so he comes and gets me. He actually brings his wife with him so that he doesn't kill me.
Yeah, that's a Grant move. When Grant wants to kill you, Caitlin shows up too.
Yeah. And so he comes and gets me and everything. Ultimately, we all talk, and it's like, all right, we'll let you keep your job. You just need to do two things. You need to sell your vehicle because you ain't never had a license. And you need to move into a Celebrate Recovery home.
I told Rucker, I said, Rucker, you need CR. You need to go to Celebrate Recovery. And he looked at me dead in the eyes and goes, I don't do drugs. I'm a drug dealer. There's a difference. And I'd never been faced with that in my life. I said, I don't know how to respond to this.
Yeah. And as a guy still immature in his faith, he's going into a baited field.
No, yeah, man. Well, and I remember that conversation. I still tell that, like, your dad actually talks about that. It was like, man, this guy said that he didn't need CR because he wasn't a drug addict. He was a drug dealer, which, I mean, what else am I supposed to think?
You were addicted, just on a different side of it.
Hey, perspective.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why CR was so important for me, because it's any hurt, habit, or hang up.
Yeah.
Right? If you were to take me to AA and be like, oh, you're an alcoholic, I can't say that I actually was an alcoholic. Now, I was a problematic drinker. I'm an object of wrath by nature. You leave me to my own devices without any discipleship or anything else, I'm going to destroy myself. But my problem was I was addicted to a mindset, I was addicted to a way of life, and I was addicted to self-sabotage. And, plus dealing with the several different unaddressed traumas in my life, it just created this mess of a man that was, so that's why CR whenever I finally did go, which first time I ever went to CR, you took me.
I remember because I told you a couple of times because you were trying to pay off a bunch of stuff. I'm like, and you didn't have a driver's license. So it was like, move into one of these houses. They'll take you to work. They'll bring you here every day.
Yeah.
And you were always against it. Well, then you hit rock bottom and you had to.
Well, and then y'all had the leverage. You were like, no, you're going now.
Now you're going.
Yeah.
And so you went, but I remember driving you there and dropping you off at that house, and you didn't have a foul attitude about it. Like, you weren't fired up for it, obviously.
Right.
But you went in with the mindset of, this is what I'm going to do to get my life back on track. Mm-hmm. And now you went and lived in a recovery house.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're in a home, but you're on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
Right tracks might not be the best term, but you've changed your mindset of how you're going to do things.
Well, so yes, I changed the mindset. I was at a place of acceptance, but this is what I had wrong: the attitude. So your attitude determines where you end up.
If you're going to get healed or not.
Right. Well, so, it's all about the attitude that you have. So you can either have an attitude of gratitude and you yield some positive results, or you could be like me, who was sitting in this recovery home. I work at Duck Commander. By the way, my episode's coming out pretty soon. You should check it out. You know what I mean? And then I'm trying to figure out, like, why am I even here? And, I got all of y'all telling me, hey, you need to be here. Still not thoroughly convinced. Still was like, man, yeah, this is cool. But I'm like, man, I spent too much time locked up. I've been here bunking with these dudes. I'm about to start stealing stuff from them. You know what I mean? Like, so I was just I had the wrong attitude, and I end up getting kicked out of the house.
I forgot about that. Maybe you didn't. I just said you had a great attitude going in. You fooled me.
Well, I did. I
Well,
mean,
he's a salesman.
he's a salesman.
I
That's what I do.
He sells drugs for a living.
Well, his life before this, he was the ultimate chameleon, right? I mean, that's what, even when he started here, I was like, man, it's a shame that we can't have you as like director of sales, because I can put you in any meeting and you're going to smash, because he's very good, was at using the chameleon for bad. Now he uses the chameleon for good, because he can blend with these people. They don't think he's being judgmental, which he's not being judgmental, but he comes off very unaggressive, unassuming, like, yes, I'm one of y'all, I'm with you, because he can read the crowd and figure out what they need to get him in. And then once he's in, there's the gospel. There's the life-changing, there's the life-change deal, because he knows, like the rest of us, the power isn't in the messenger, but it's in the message. And that's what you were so good at, and what everybody recognized about you, and why we wanted nothing but the best for you, because we knew you could get in those places. You can get in places none of the rest of us can get into.
Yeah.
And you can have those people on your side, and then you can change their lives that we would never, ever reach, period, outside the show and anything like that. So that's why we were also bullheaded in you doing well and you succeeding. And now, fast forward to getting kicked out of a house, to owning houses to help people further advance their lives. And you're what? You're a counselor now. You're a quasi world speaker.
Hold on, here's
Rucker Worldwide.
Here's my favorite part, because he doesn't do drugs. He's a drug dealer. What's your technical job title?
I'm the director of Celebrate Recovery.
I love it.
Yeah, I end up getting kicked out of the house. And to your point, nobody up here knew that I had the wrong attitude. And you wouldn't have, because at that point I'm trying to make y'all proud of me. Really is what it was. And so I had the bad attitude, but I didn't tell y'all, get kicked out the house. Ultimately come up here, Grant fires me, because he was like, if you do anything else, I'm firing you. I come up here, he fires me. Willie and Kyle Tingwall have a conversation.
Kylie's back.
Kylie Tingwall.
Kyle from Minnesota.
Him and Willie have a conversation, and we were already planning on doing the tours. And Willie says, we'll give you one more shot, but if you do anything else. So I literally walk from here to the church and walk in there and beg them for one more chance with Josh Hudnall and Kyle. And it's funny, because I get in there and I said, man, I get it. I screwed up, but I'm done running the show. If you give me one more chance, I promise you won't regret it. And he said, Miss K had already called me this morning. and I was like, what? Because I didn't. That was whenever I realized people were actually looking out for me before I realized people were. Because not just you guys that I seen every day, because I didn't see Kay every day. And we were, she would see me. I'd come out to the house. They'd talk. Oh, hey, Brian. But whenever I realized that she had called Josh and said, hey, I don't know what it is about this kid, but if you just give him one more shot, I think it'll work out. And he's told me that, and they let me come back, start working the program, and actually surrender. I get back over here, start doing stuff with Buck Commander again, start helping out with different stuff, just kind of, I started allowing God to work in me and through me, as aside from me trying to work an angle on God. And that ultimately resulted in fruit. And I remember I went and spoke somewhere at a treatment center, and they said, hey, we think that you would be a great counselor. And I said, well, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I remember this.
And I came in here, and I told y'all, I said, hey, yeah, they offered me a job as an addiction counselor, but I'm not doing that. I mean, this is my family. This is where I'm at. And everybody was like, oh, okay, yeah, well, we kind of think you should take it. And I was like, no, I don't know. Well,
I believe a direct quote
go ahead.
is, Rucker, if you don't take this job, I'm going to fire you.
Yeah.
Fired.
I mean, so you can either go take it,
or you're going to be forced.
You can
to take it.
voluntarily take it,
Yeah.
Oh,
or
I'm
you're
gonna
about to
fire
be
you.
terminated.
And the
Yeah,
thing
I'll fire
was,
you.
they were offering something that Duck Commander couldn't offer.
I want to go back to where you started this when you was telling your story, and you said the guys said, "Hey, man, we love you."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that has a because the Bible says it somehow about if you see someone hurting and you don't help him,
Mm-hmm.
you're a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Crying out loud.
Right.
And that's what we never can see the potential or the good in us.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since you said it, and you stay up nights and look at yourself, saying, "What is wrong with me?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that mirror will lie to you.
No. Well, I'm just saying though.
Yeah.
Because
Ain't no doubt.
I've been there before, and then because your honesty,
Mm-hmm.
you actually laugh about it. You hit people with it because that's you.
Mm-hmm.
But you laugh because you love the when you watch them, the reaction.
Yeah. And to Martin's point, it's like I was comfortable, and also I thought, because I was learning how to shoot film hunts and edit footage, and I really thought that like the maximized potential for Brian Rucker is doing production with Buck Commander. Like I really thought that that's
Where
the
you wanted-
ceiling.
where
Like
you
that's the
wanted to be.
ceiling of where I could be at.
Yeah.
And y'all ultimately say, "Hey, go take the job." And Willie was one too. We were at church. He said, "Hey, man, it sounds like something God wants you to do. Like your family, you always got a job. Like go try it. If you want it, great. If not, like, what do you got to lose?"
Yeah, if it don't work out.
And that's whenever I'll never forget this. Right, I came in the next morning. And John David walks in through the back door. I was already here for some reason. I was usually late, but I was, but he walks in the back door, and I walk up to him and I say, "Hey, I'm taking that job," and he started crying. Like literally, it was like,
Nah, don't do it.
he was like, "Man, he was like,
Oh, no, he'll cry.
I'm so glad."
I'll cry on
Oh,
anybody.
he'll cry.
Me and Rucker
What?
have shared a few good cries.
Oh,
he'll,
yeah.
He'll cry.
He goes, "Man, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you're taking that." And as it turns out, God knows what he's doing way more than I do. I start working as an addiction counselor. I become the most sought after addiction counselor in the state, the highest paid CIT in the addiction field. And all because, like you said, I think God brought me through what I've been through in my life in order to glorify him.
Well, no.
And-
Because, hey, it's the deal about if I'm an alcoholic,
Mm-hmm.
another alcoholic he ain't gonna blow smoke.
Right, exactly.
I'm there.
Yep.
I know. Don't be talking that trash to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, exactly.
No, that's why you're the counselor. Yeah.
Mhm. And
You've been
then
there.
it went from there to like, I started speaking all over the place again. And then, I ultimately took a $40,000 pay cut to go work at the church full time to lead Celebrate Recovery. And the houses, the sober living home, I ended up living there for 2 years. Now I own that program.
I was going to say,
and we
money ain't the answer. He started this off making a joke about education.
Yeah.
Okay, but it ain't no joke. This
That's
is
right.
America.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, this is the United States of America. And look, hey, if you work your tail off, there's nothing that you can do anything you want to do.
Amen.
Well, to Martin's point too, right? Like, all right, I'm no longer working for me. I'm working for the Lord, right? And so I tell my clients this all the time.
That's
They're like, "Man,
biblical.
but you got like, yeah, life's pretty good for you." I'm like, "You didn't see me 9 years ago, okay? But I promise you, if I lost everything that I have right now today, and I got to go back to folding clothes or cleaning bathrooms, you better believe I'm gonna do it better than anybody, because I'm not working for me. I'm working for God and His glory and making Him a big deal."
And hey, and Job is a perfect example of that. He lost it all, and then hey, in the end, he had 4 times what he had to begin with.
Yeah.
I have an office these days, and if you walk into my office,
Is there a dartboard in it?
no. I actually
Not a
had a
real
lady come in and make it all nice. Anyways,
Wow.
But if you look,
This guy.
That's kind of off-brand.
well, I mean, my office is at a church. We don't have nearly as much fun as we had here,
right.
you know. But if you walk into my office, big written on the wall, written huge on the wall is John 3:30. And that is, he must become greater, and I must become less.
Amen.
That is the
that is
the
a good one.
mantra of my life, man.
That's a good one.
Amen. And now you're married.
Yeah,
We
got to land the plane.
Yeah,
somehow.
we'll land it. And now I'm just going to say this: you're married. And you've always held to your responsibilities as a father. I mean, I know that. I saw you sending the checks off because you used our mail. That's fine.
Yeah,
Not a big deal. But
This was Brian Rucker headquarters for a hot little second.
But what I'm saying, you stepped up, faced your challenges in life. You didn't quit. You had every reason to quit. Had every reason to go back to jail because it's easy.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like all those things you didn't. An incredible story of perseverance. And now you're 2 weeks married.
2 weeks married. Working
I was
on
just
3.
there. I only cried a little at that.
Yeah, no, I would love to be back, and I'm just having, the I Am Second thing came out, man, and God's really using it, and so I'm just holding on, and whatever's God's got for me, I'm gonna just steward it to the best of my ability and keep
Awesome.
rolling.
I'm gonna send us out of here with a verse.
Do it.
2 Corinthians 7, Paul's writing to the Corinthians, but man, it makes me think of Rucker. I am acting with great boldness towards you. I have great pride in you. I am filled with comfort in all our affliction. I am overflowing with joy. Buddy, right in those walls over there, we went through a lot. And I can't say of any human being I've ever dealt with in life that I'm more proud to say I helped a guy out, because you helped way more people than I ever thought about. You're the man.
Yeah.
Love you, man.
Rucker homeowner 2023.
2020.
He sends his kids to private school now, son.
man.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This is, good Lord's been kind.
Yeah.
you know?
We'll see y'all next time right here in the
Love it.
Duck Call Room. We're out.